Welcome back to our channel. And if you see this big smile on my face, it's because I'm sitting beside a friend. But you know what to do. Share this video, like this video, leave a comment because we're live from the Johan Cruijff ArenA for the Dutch Blockchain Week Summit. 2 days of the most interesting discussions that surrounds our crypto market, bringing it to you from Crypto Focus. But he was here for one of our first setups. We did our first interviews with him, and then we did a second and a third and a fourth. This is going to be interview number 5. And every time we sit down, we get to talk about the most interesting things. We get to go deep because the market is driven by key opinion leaders that tell you exactly what to do, how to do it, because we have to be honest, we don't understand it fully, but some people do, like Michael. He understands it to the point where he can explain it to us and help us drive the market. So stay tuned for a very interesting conversation. I can't remember the last time we spoke. Paris?
Ooh, maybe. Or the
I think,
beleggersfair.
No, yeah, beleggersfair after Paris. Exactly.
Yeah,
We were
I think we
Crypto
did, right?
Congress after Paris. We
Yeah.
did talk then.
That's like half a year ago.
Yes. Just like you keep evolving. So do we. We keep evolving. We started small, and then we grew, and then we made a change. We started a new actual adventure. And like we were talking just now, and I keep telling people, when you start something new, if you don't have partners or friends that tell you, hey, you're at zero, but you're still legitimate. In Dutch, they say you have the bestandsrecht. You deserve to be in the space. You won't succeed. And the only reason, one of the reasons we're sitting here today in a newsroom is thanks to your support.
Well, that's very kind. But I think that we need to help each other.
Yeah.
You create good content. You're there to provide value to anyone that wants to be interested into crypto. So now, why not help each other out?
Exactly. And it's a mutually beneficial agreement because your knowledge helps our people understand what they need to do with the market. So let's dive in. The market today. Let's start there, and then we'll keep going from one to the other. A lot of people are saying, hey, we've reached the bottom. What do you say?
I think a lot of people are now saying that we need to go to 40K in October. It's like the general consensus is that we need to go down. We have to get to 40 to 50K. There is some sort of narrative that has been created surrounding STRC, the preferred stock model of strategy. That has depacked from $100. So a lot of people are in fear on that. It might be the next Terra Luna. It might be the next FTX. And due to that, we saw Bitcoin continue to fall.
And don't you think at some point space played an actual factor in that as well?
SpaceX, you mean?
Yeah.
I think a lot of liquidity has gone to the SpaceX IPO, for sure. But I think that either the narrative that has been created surrounding strategy or someone that has actually been seeing a trading opportunity that is way bigger than Michael Saylor is and then pushed everyone out of that position to scoop up some more for himself, that has driven the price to where it is right now. If you really look at a lot of macroeconomic indicators, the business cycle, copper versus gold, for instance, it's already picking up. So I think it's just Simon Dixon, I had him on the show. He thinks that right now the price is being manipulated. And it's like, it's just being pushed down a little bit. So all the people are like sucked out of the position and then they poof, let it go. And then it just goes back fastly.
And how do you think, let's be honest, institutions have a very big impact.
Yeah.
They control. And what's your opinion about that? Because like you said, strategy sold, had a big impact on everybody's way of thinking. But the week after, they bought so many percentages above what they sold just to kind of test out the waters. But the impact of that small sale reflected throughout the week. What's your opinion on how they affect the market?
Well, people need to learn that institutions are not there for their best interest. The obligation they have is to generate a return for the stakeholders that the institutions have. So it's a whole different game that you're playing now. The big guys with all the liquidity are coming into the markets to manipulate or move the markets in their advantage. And Michael Saylor is the ideal scapegoat. If he creates a product that is not perfect, then they will find that spot and they utilize that for their own win. And the ones that are losing out of that is the ones that are not getting the information that is inside those groups and therefore there's a lot of fear right now in the markets, and people feel they want to sell their position into Bitcoin, or sell their Bitcoin, or they want to short Bitcoin, or the expectancy is becoming quite negative. And that's the ideal recipe for those institutions to get more Bitcoin and then return the markets back up. So ultimately, I think in terms of adoption, we're going to see a bigger impact due to the liquidity coming in from the institutions. From a fundamental standpoint, Bitcoin doesn't need institutions. We don't need all those derivatives. And I think it's just the same sort of financial system that we're already living in that's being recreated on Bitcoin with paper Bitcoin, which I think is just not the best version of a world that I would live in.
No. And you know something, there used to be a time when the Fear and Greed Index gave a good representation of where we are in the market. From your perspective right now, does it still do that?
Yeah, it feels like you're on a graveyard. I mean, and fair enough. I just said on stage that we have been living in a bubble where we thought that crypto was actually adding value, but we created tokens without an actual reason to have those tokens. And right now we start to see the first momentum where tokens are accruing value into the tokens, like Hyperliquid, Near, and some other ones. That makes sense. Then you can start making valuations and you can start having projections. But there's no point of having some layer ones of having a valuation of 5 billion and then a daily transaction volume of $300. So it's just like, yeah. So I think overall the industry has come to a point where it's probably now slightly underpriced compared to the fair price, and all those protocols that are actually doing something are not getting the credit that they used to have back in the bull market. But it makes a lot of sense, and I think that right now we are in that first phase of escape velocity that you can just plainly see coming with all the RWAs coming on chain, and the growth and the progress that they are making. That it's just a matter of time before selective tokens are just going to take off.
From that perspective, moving in that direction, you run a very prolific altcoin portfolio.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, it does well, it does not do well, does well, does very badly, but you have a very strong opinion when it comes to remaining very true to your strategy. What gives you the drive that when you see it dropping, you see you're in a loss, and it doesn't look as if it's going to bounce back, to remain really strongly attached to the strategy that you employed?
To be honest, maybe it's just plain stupidity for most of the time.
You do realize that's going to become a soundbite, right? They're going to use that against you for so many months to come.
I mean,
But,
that's fine.
yeah.
I mean, I think having such a public altcoin portfolio is the way for me to continue pushing myself forward. So I have the obligation to myself to trade the best as I can, to research the best as I can, because it's also publicly.
Yeah.
So all the projects that are in there, they are there because I've been researching them and I know what they are doing and I know why I've been buying those and the strategy behind it too. Doesn't mean that the strategy has been giving me a return as of yet, but it has been doing quite well by the fact that I've been DCAing over the past 6-7 months.
Yeah.
That I am just only down 45% compared to everything being down 80%.
Exactly.
So I don't know if it's going to stay in altcoin portfolio. I think we are going to face the final easy cycle. And given the fact that I don't have a family, I don't have many other obligations, I want to take the bet and the risk right now. I see the opportunity. And after that, I'll transition into probably a multi-asset portfolio and just take a lot of risk out of my entire trading and investment strategy.
That's very good. Now, from a business perspective, how do you maintain the balance when you tell investors from the MN Fund, hey, I know what I'm doing, you are getting a return of investment, and your followers who follow your altcoin portfolio and see that, hey, he's down 45, because MN Fund is doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question rises, okay, why is there a discrepancy between yours and MN Fund?
That's actually a good question. The fund is just down 3% over a year, which is, for a long-only fund, is quite well.
Extremely well.
Yeah. It's a completely different strategy. And when I invest something for someone that's an external investor, I need to be way more conservative. For me personally, I can take the bet because that's what I feel comfortable with. But an external investor won't allow that for their own money. And that's the difference that we have. Other than that, when the altcoin portfolio starts to go up, I'll probably start to allocate a portion into the fund because the track record is there, the proof is there. It works in the worst markets that we've seen. And I'm sure that in the best markets that we probably are going to have in the coming few years, it will even outperform. There will be a period where the altcoin portfolio does better than the fund is doing because
Yes.
of I take more risk, so then I have more return. But I want to take the velocity and the volatility out of my personal trading and therefore put more into the funds. And that's kind of the scope that we want to go into. Other than that, I think that with my personal portfolio, I would also love to have multiple other assets. And the good part is it becomes on chain.
Yeah.
So with the fund and with me, my personal portfolio, I can hold on chain tokens in those portfolios to just have a return. It's different than just really owning something, but in this case, I have it for my ROI or my return on either of the portfolios.
That's very good. As you keep growing yourself, you get to sit down with a lot of different people. You get to lead interviews. You get to sit down with Charles. You get to sit down with Michael. And when you have these conversations, your takeaway from these conversations, do you feel that these people deserve the hype that's built around them?
Oh, that's a good question. The luxury I have of spending time with these guys is that you have some like a little glimpse of how they live their lives. Michael Saylor is like one of a kind. I actually told him in the show that he's not as big as everyone makes him. To be fair, um, but if he hasn't been doing what he has been doing, someone else has probably tried to do it. So the fact that he's trying it is actually really good, but nobody should give him the credit that he gets right now. Neither should we all give him credit when everything goes well. It's both of those things.
Yeah.
The same with me. So I think the markets are the markets, and in 2021 we had Elon Musk when he sold some Bitcoin on Tesla, the markets crashed. Makes no sense, and the same happens right now. And I think he's been put onto like some sort of like mountain or
Yeah, it's a
whatsoever.
pedestal.
Yeah, and he's super smart and he deserves that. He took the decision to take all the risks that he has, so he has to respond to all the questions. That's just how the markets work. But we shouldn't really give him all the credits. Like he doesn't really move markets. If he buys 2 billion in Bitcoin, markets do nothing. When he sells like 50 Bitcoin, it's not that he's moving the markets, but it's Jane Street and all the other big guys that say, hey, that's interesting.
Exactly.
Probably a lot of people will fear out of this. So let's push the markets down so we can scoop up some more.
It's the reaction on his action.
Yeah. And those guys are way bigger and you don't see them.
Yeah, the ones behind the scenes. Talking about behind the scenes, right now, the macroeconomic factors and the geopolitical factors keep affecting everything we do. It affects our flow, it affects our liquidity, it affects our price. Now, do you foresee this getting worse in the next 6 months as we push deeper into a Strait of Hormuz Iran war? Israel is pushing deeper into Lebanon. The situation in the US keeps intensifying. Do you foresee that way? Hey, this is going to get worse. The effect on what we do is going to be exponential, or do you say no, the market is going to mature past these macro and geopolitical effects?
I think we are on like the decision point on that. So the fact that there's some sort of peace agreement or whatsoever for 60 days, the deal itself is one of the biggest ever. And I think that oil prices have gone down, so the inflation will start to drop. The entire we need to hike interest rates will probably fade away until we can lower the interest rates. And therefore, I am actually positive for the coming 6 to 12 months instead of the consensus that it's going to get worse. I think it will only become better. But it will also mean that we're getting in some sort of state where everybody thinks it's going to be fine and it's actually not. So you need to be aware of a lot of factors. And Trump doesn't have any reason to escalate any issue right now. He has his oil prices down. He gets a deal. Probably inflation data goes down, so the stock markets go up. And then he is positioned quite well when it comes to the midterms.
Yeah.
That's his whole game. So I think it's actually just going to be a really good second half of the year.
That's wonderful. July 1st is coming up. Panic across the board. A lot of companies are either merging, consolidating, or they are going to have to stop being able to do what they do the way they're doing it. From your perspective, how should we in Europe as a whole be prepared for what's going to transgress after July 1st?
I think that if you're holding tokens on an exchange that is not MiCA compliant, is to move to one that has. Very simple. And I think it's just the easiest way going forward. We don't know what's going to happen after that. It's probably not going to be as worse as we all expect it to be. The market impact will be close to zero. But for yourself, if you are holding assets on an exchange that is not MiCA compliant, there is a risk, and you need to take away that risk. So go to the ones that are actually compliant as they are.
Just very simply put.
Just very simple, yeah.
Very simply put. So, market is in a, I don't want to say down spiral.
Well, we hit a new low yesterday, so I mean...
Yeah, it's an appropriate word, eh? Yeah, it's a down spiral. You know what the thing is, from my perspective, from doing trading and everything, I always try to be positive. Because at the end of the day, it's still invisible money. It's digital money that you didn't have at some point, and that's why you're trying to invest. But I understand from the other perspective, people who are actually investing their actual money into it and losing money, it's not that fun as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you moving for the next 6 months when it comes to MN, the fund itself, what can we expect?
We would like to automate more of the strategies. I think that the volatility will pick up, so I'm expecting positive returns. And once we start to hit positive returns, we will be going more to events. We will be hosting more of those. We will be going to global events and just try to scale up the fund. That's going to be the core. During bear markets, doesn't make sense to really be out there. No. And I think that it's going to change from here. So then we will be more visible. But I have the luxury of being very visible myself. Yep. And now the company needs to be more out there.
On their own.
Yeah.
That's very good. You attend a lot of events. As you walked into the Dutch Blockchain Week here at Johan Cruijff for the first time, what was your impression? How did it feel?
Well, it feels like home. It's my stadium. So I've got my season card for like 14 years. So that's just like nice. I think it's good to see that Dutch Blockchain Week is progressing in the way they are. It's a different venue, more professional, more institutions coming here. A lot of people come from abroad. So it's not only this event, it's the entire week with all the side events that are taking place. So I actually like it a lot. And I think that once the market starts to pick up, the audience will grow even more. So they have taken right steps going forward.
That's good. You heard it here from Michael van der Poppe. Dutch Blockchain Week took the right steps moving forward. It's always a pleasure to sit down with him. He gets to sit down with one of the biggest names in the industry. He gets to learn from them. He gets to see a glimpse of their lives so that you can understand. And make sure to follow his YouTube channel, follow all of his conversations, his articles on our platform as well, and follow his X. I never knew if you have Instagram.
I do.
Yeah.
But I'm only sharing Scorito data. Yeah, that's
for the next 3 weeks, follow his Instagram. That's the most important thing happening right now. So we're all looking forward to the Netherlands playing tonight at 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, you heard it, right? It's going to be easy. We're moving on to the second stage without any issues because Michael van der Poppe said it's going to happen. We're Crypto Focus. He's Michael van der Poppe right here live from the Dutch Blockchain Week Summit at Johan Cruijff ArenA.